Hey guys, it's deadlift day. I'm so excited. All right, gonna get myself a little drive in first this morning. Got a lot to do before deadlift day, but I've got my protein, I've got my omega-3s and vitamins ready to go. Gonna go see my crazy woo-woo chiropractor who always makes my back feel amazing. So I'm looking forward to that, and I will let you know how it goes. Just got here to the chiropractor, and it's low touch chiropractic, so it'll look a little bit different. So feeling a lot better. You'll probably get a little clip of what that was, but it probably doesn't even look like much, but I can already tell you my low back was a little bit sore from squats on Monday, and I can already feel a little bit more stable in my low back. Like I can feel my hips have loosened a little bit so they can move a little bit more. I could feel, the connection of my spine to my erector spinae, and like that was a little bit hot, a little bit turned on, a little bit like sore, just like it was trying to hold extra tight, and so it made me feel a little bit awkward the last day or so. And sometimes that happens when I'm hitting higher weights on squats. So I have to work on my mobility stuff a little bit extra for that, and I did a little bit of yoga yesterday. But there's something about this low touch chiropractic stuff that I still don't understand, but I love it. So main thing that I wanted to talk about is that I started the morning excited about deadlift day, and if you're wondering why I haven't already gone and hit deadlifts, the reason is because I am trying to time my workouts to my max strength potential, and this is something I've done for a while, but the idea around maximizing your strength potential for the time of day is that there have been studies done that it's somewhere around 10 to 12 hours after you wake up is when you're most strong. Part of this has to do with your discs, your spinal column, and you're taller when you wake up, right? You're about an inch taller or something like that at first waking, and that is because all of your discs get filled with fluid, they're not compressed at all and they expand, and so you're actually taller. That's great, except it also makes your spine less resistant to shock or load. So if ever I'm working with somebody and the only time they can work out is first thing in the morning, sorry, there was a little thing on the camera, first thing in the morning, I tell them to try and make sure to wait at least an hour before doing something like squats or anything else that's going to involve a lot of spinal loading. And that's just for safety's sake. But if you really want to take that a little bit farther, our circadian rhythm, our biorhythms, our body temperature, our alertness, how our central nervous system is firing, all of those things change throughout the day based on our sleep cycle. So after you wake up, somewhere around 10 hours, it's usually around 4 to 5 to 6 p.m. For most people, is when our body temperature goes up, our CNS is ready to fire harder, a lot of different things, but they've done studies showing that our strength is generally higher at that time. So that's why I'm giving you a little glimpse of the day as I do my other stuff before we get to deadlift day. So, I mean, it is deadlift day, but before we get to deadlifts. So anyway, I'm gonna head home. Gotta eat. Gotta feed the machine. I am doing some studying for nutrition stuff, and I guess I wanted to be a little bit more specific on what that is. So I started this channel wanting to share all of the stuff that I have learned in the fitness game. In fitness and health, in strength training, nutrition, all that stuff, right? Like I'm a nerd. I'm a really big nerd. My background was engineering before this. I love studying, I love learning, I love using myself as a guinea pig. And so for about 20 years, I've been my own best client as a personal trainer, and I've never gotten a certification. I've had plenty of people that I've trained, plenty of people that I've worked with, but it's never been something that I've pursued as a career. It's something that has been a passion. It's something that has been exciting for me to learn, exciting for me to experiment with for myself, as well as with others. So I've got plenty of friends who I've introduced to my programs, to my to the things that I've developed in terms of like healing, as well as mobilizing and getting, proper alignment, proper structure, proper all that. And I've been doing it for a long time, but I've never like gone through the formal process of being certified. And this weekend I did. I got certified, so I passed the test with minimal studying, which I feel I don't know. It's hard for me to take a test without studying. So I studied, but it's so much of it was review, and it really solidified for me, oh, I do know this stuff. I've known this stuff for a long time. So officially a certified personal trainer, and gonna start doing work with people in an official capacity. I'm actually gonna start I want to get a wider base of people to work with beyond just friends and family. So I'm actually going to go start working at a big box gym, and I will probably be filming some videos from there as well. But working with a lot more clients who are at different spectrums in their health and fitness goals. I've done a lot of coaching for people, whether it's from people who have been fitness competitors to bodybuilders and doing strength training stuff and powerlifters. But I've also worked with people who don't have any experience, and they just want to get started in fat loss and that kind of thing as well. So I've done both, but generally with the people that are just getting started, a lot of times it's been just talk work in terms of like not necessarily showing them each different piece that they need to do and walking with them step by step through their nutrition, but having a conversation and finding out what their blocks are to doing the things that they know that they already need to do, right? So coaching in the sense of helping them find solutions for the issues that are keeping them blocked, helping them find solutions for taking the next right action, taking the next right step to move towards the goals that they want, helping them get really clear on the goals that they want so that it's easier to move. That's the stuff that I've been doing with people who are just getting started, and I'm excited for this opportunity at the big box, is that I'll be able to work with people more on the nitty gritty, more on the concrete. They know that they're coming for this very specific thing, not just a general life thing, and being able to really apply what I've learned to not only the athlete population and myself included in that, but also friends of mine have mainly been higher level athletes who've performed for a longer period of time and have much more awareness, to work with people who don't have so much, so that I can help them develop that. So I'm excited about that. And the nutrition stuff is John Berardi's Precision Nutrition Program is one that I am working through. It's probably he's an author and trainer and teacher, all that he was one of the first guys that I started to read on my journey when I wanted to start bulking up, when I wanted to start getting bigger. He had nutrition plans, eating plans, and menus that were awesome at the time. They still are. And I think he did his PhD essentially developing Gatorade and doing the research around peri-workout nutrition, which is, what happens to the body during the time of a workout, what happens with insulin, how is your body more able to take up nutrients and what nutrients, and et cetera, et cetera. So he did his research on performance around that, and I think he had a hand in developing, developing Gatorade. Sorry, lost you. Let's see. Gonna lock that down. This is contraindicated as something that you should do while driving. Don't be me, folks. Don't be me. Anyway, so I'm taking his level 1 certification for precision nutrition and going through that. And I'm excited about it. I think that he probably has a much more balanced idea around fats and nutrients, whereas the certification class that I just took, it touched on nutrition, and I remember taking the test for this certification, and it had a section where you could put notes and comments, and I put a note on the question around what fats lead to higher cholesterol in the blood, and I knew that they wanted saturated fats to be the answer, because that has been touted as how it works for ages and ages. There's a book called The Big Fat Surprise that I really highly suggest you read, or Good Fats, or sorry, Good Calories, Bad Calories, that's another one. They are showing the issues that are coming up around the research world when it comes to fats and when it comes to nutrition, and how it has been kind of co-opted by political leanings and all of these other things. Saturated, I did an experiment with myself where I added 2 tablespoons of coconut oil to my shake every day for a month, and I got 2 blood tests to see where my LDL and HDL cholesterol was. And I tell you what, everything improved. And that's the issue, is that, you know, this test, this certification, they're going off of old assumptions that saturated fat is bad for you, and they're not distinguishing between the types of fats. You know, not looking at whether a fat is inflammatory or not looking at red meat as whether it's coming from a grass-fed or grain-fed source. These are things that actually change the way that the fats present and the way that your body uses them. And they're not looking at carbohydrates and inflammatory carbohydrates specifically, as well as inflammatory fats, as an issue for your cholesterol. Because cholesterol in the blood is a response to that inflammation. It's a way that the body is trying to heal itself and stop itself from having these other issues, which come from high sugars, high carbohydrates, and other inflammatory markers. So the whole saturated fats are bad or fats are bad thing, like, that's way outdated. And it was hard because you know, I know that the nutrition portion of this certification was just going off of like the basic, you know, the basics that everybody needs to know, and the basics are off. So anyway, I'm looking forward to this. Sorry, I'll end that rant, but I'm looking forward to this nutritional program that I am going through. Got done with a coaching call that I've been doing. It was good. It was a good call. It always feels good to do some coaching in the day. So anyway, was doing some research and studying on my nutrition project that I mentioned earlier in the car, and I just wanted to reflect on one of the pieces, how that started. So it started out by talking about you know, what is food? Is it fuel? Is it macronutrients? Whatever. And it really went into talking about why food is so much more than just fuel, right? And I mentioned earlier that I've always kind of, you know, I try and cover my bases with a few things, but generally I'm thinking macronutrients. And it's talking about food as information, and food as, you know, it's got a fuel source, right, as well as your nutrients, your phytonutrients, your phytochemicals, zoochemicals, minerals, and all of that is information and input into our body, into our system. And other inputs that also correspond with how nutrients affect us are our environment, our mood, our thoughts, our feelings. And so I'm just reflecting on, you know, really enjoying this, this writing this book, this type of work, because it really takes into account the fact that, like, you could eat one thing, and if you've been exercising or active, you'll absorb the nutrients differently. If you've been stressed out, you know, lack of sleep, if you've been angry, frustrated, stressed, you're going to absorb the nutrients differently. If you've been meditating, you know, all these different things. Epigenetics, genetics, you know, the genetics that you were born with, and also the epigenetics that the changes in your genes from your environment, from your food, from everything else, from your mood, from your thoughts. All of those things are going to impact how food and nutrition affect you and work with you. And so it's, you know, it broke down a few different things where it's like, it's not just about calories in, calories out. It never was. And, there are popular ideas like if this then that, or sorry, if it fits your macros, IIFYM. I ate like that before it was a catchy hashtag. It was just bodybuilding dieting, right? You looked at your macronutrients and you ate that way. But that always comes with the caveat that you watch how it works for 2 weeks and see if you're going in the right direction or not. Because there are plenty of times where I'll add fasting in for I've been intermittent fasting for years and years now. 1 day a week I'll do 24 to 36 hours, but like I was bulking during that time. I wasn't trying to lose weight, and I'm taking a day out from eating, right? And still able to gain weight because it's not just energy in, energy out. Now I was compensating for energy, and like for that, making sure that I got enough energy in throughout the week rather than just the day. But still, I've worked with clients who will have no change on a calorie restriction that should produce a change, right? And it could be that their body's holding on to something for some reason or whatever. And so it breaks down to like, you've got to look at, are they getting enough nutrients? Does the body feel like it's in starvation mode, so it's going to be harder now? Have you hit a plateau? What's going on? There's a lot more to it. So anyway, we've only just scratched the surface, or I've only just scratched the surface of this book, but I'm excited for it and wanted to give a little review while I had this camera set up already. So still looking forward to deadlifts later. finishing up. Didn't hit the 3 deadlift reps, which I was hoping for, so ended it there. Finished up with my accessory work, which was hip thrusts, which I think you probably saw, and then after that I did a load of other glute exercises. I used to have more booty meat and I actually think that that's a real big factor right now in my lower back stability. I think that's why my squats felt a little like I felt sore after that. I think I don't have as much engagement in my glutes as I have in the past, as much mass as well as, so that is why I added those accessories in there. I also did a bunch of abs to pair with that. TRX bands, which you can see there. So holding a plank on the unstable surface and then moving my hands around like a crazy person, and trying to stay as stable as possible. That was the ab work. Whew, feeling good. So I'm gonna end it here and see you guys hopefully tomorrow. See how the editing goes tonight on this video, but I'm excited to put this up. So catch you later. Yeah, bye.